What the world happened, Finn? A flying fish. Fish. There we go, Finley. We got us one, didn't we? Alright. Good fish. There you go, folks. Good quality fish. I forgot my pole cam today, but we are flipping them wood. Springtime, muddy water. Water temps are like 48 degrees, and we're just gonna flip some wood today. Stay shallow. That's the plan anyway. As long as I keep getting a few bites, we'll stay with it. It's back in the creek. That fish was actually on a little grass clump. Just throwing a little gambler burner crawl. 1/4 ounce weight, 15-pound test. Good fish. It was fun. There he is. Old chatterbait. That fish wanted it. That fish is in the shallow. Had to kind of switch up a little bit. Couldn't get bit flipping. I'm not done with it yet, but I'm just kind of exploring some of these shallow pockets. Just a white jackhammer. Little dipper. Little fish. Decent fish. Little fish. Got off. There he is. Right on that grass clump. Nice. Decent fish. Right off that grass clump. Look at the lips on that thing. Beautiful fish. There you go, folks. Kind of covering a little bit of water with this chatterbait. Beautiful lips, man. Party ready. White fish. That tail, too. Nice. Right, let's let her go. Probably can't see, but there's just little grass clumps heading into this little pocket. And she was sitting right on that grass clump in about 3 feet of water. Water temp's like 48 degrees. It's 47 to 48. It's cooled back down. It was up to 50. Things are just moving along really slow, but got like about 1.5 feet of visibility. It's starting to clear up a little bit. Speed crawl. Got me one, Finley. Alright. Fish are sitting up there shallow. Really shallow. There we go. Go speed crawl. fish. Good fish. Nice fish. That's a nice fish. Ate that jig. Here we go. Look at that, guys. Still a little. I think it's like a 1/4 ounce bitsy jig by Cumberland Pro. Solid fish. Yeah, they're on a jig, folks. They're on a jig. Just throwing this little 1/4 ounce Cumberland Pro Lures Procaster with a little speed crawl in there. It's basically green pumpkin. And they're definitely relating to these little short pockets with rock. Kind of main lake right now, but we're gonna bounce around and see if we can keep this pattern going. All right, folks, midday report. Catching a few fish, having to work for it. Water is very stained and it's in the high 40s. I kind of been targeting the second part of the morning. I've been targeting rocky areas. These little short pockets, got grass, rock, wood mixed in there. And I went from throwing a chatterbait, got several bites on chatterbait, and just flipping a burner crawl. And I went to a jig, just throwing a little light 1/4 ounce Cumberland Pro Procaster and a green pumpkin. I got a little speed crawl on there. I'm starting to get some more bites doing that. Had to take a little sandwich break. Shout out to Denny Hall. Finley's chasing flies. She just loves chasing flies. She could spend hours and hours chasing flies. I was kind of concerned on the way here. She ate one that was in the truck, and sometimes when dogs eat stuff they're not supposed to, they end up throwing up. But so far her stomach is fine and content, happy. Got a little bit of food down here for her, got a little water bowl. And we're gonna go bounce around a little more. We're gonna just kind of target just little rocky areas, little short pockets and stuff. See if we can pick up a few fish before the sun sets. Beautiful day out here, man. Air temps are like high 40s, very light wind. We've got some snow coming. You know, they're forecasting cold front to push through. We got I don't know, anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of snow on the way. So very fortunate to have a beautiful day like this before it gets cold one more time. Good. And jig. Rock. Main Lake Bank. What do you think? Well, it's 46 degrees. Another one. Dang. Whew. That was a good bite, boy. That's a line jumper. There he is. Piled up. Piled up right here. That old finesse jig is the deal, man. Come in here, right? Another good fish on that jig. Right in the top of the mouth. Look at that. Perfect. What do you think, Finn? What do you think, Finn? You don't want to look at that? Okay, fine. She's seen enough fish today. She Look at that, folks. It is absolutely beautiful back here in the back of this cut. Got bluff run in right there. You got bluffs right here. The sun is starting to set. Got Finley over there chilling. It's been a good day. It's been a really good day. Started out with moving baits, got a few bites. Started flipping some plastics, got a few bites. And I wanted to get a jig bite off laydowns. It just wasn't happening for me, but I started fishing some rocky areas. And I was throwing a bigger jig at first. You know, this is a 1/2 ounce Cumberland Pro jig. It's got a big ray trawl in there, and I couldn't get bit. I was going through some good looking areas and just wasn't happening. And I downsized and I started getting some bites. You know, the water's high 40s. This is that time of the year where the bass start moving shallow and they start feeding on crawfish. A lot of these bass will get away from the shad. They've been feeding on shad all winter long. Those warmer water temps, crawfish start moving around and they start keying in on crawfish. You got a lot more protein in crawfish than the shad. It's just more bang for the buck. And it's a new food source that hasn't really been available throughout the winter. So they start keying in on these crawfish. And I couldn't get bit on that bigger jig, and I downsized. I went to this little 1/4 ounce. This is a Cumberland Pro Procaster with a little green pumpkin speed crawl. And I immediately started getting bites. My bites were coming off of wood, but mainly rock. Rock was the key. Areas, little short pockets, little cuts off the main lake and little backs of coves that had rock were the areas that I was getting my bites. So downsizing sometimes on the jig, if you're not getting bites, you know, the crawfish are starting to move. A lot of times, you know, downsizing is the way to go. Fall rate's real important. You know, several of these fish, several of the better fish that I caught actually grab that thing on the fall. So this 1/4 ounce jig has a really slow fall rate where that 1/2 ounce is going to fall a lot faster. Even with the big rage curl in the back of it, it's still going to fall quite a bit faster. And that's something I've learned by watching the live scope, is the fall rate of your baits. You know, this is going to fall like twice as fast, even though it's got a bigger trailer than this little 1/4 ounce. So fall rate can be really important in the spring when the fish are a little bit more finicky. Put a little bit of chartreuse on the tail, but I kept it kind of simple. 15-pound test, got a 7'3" Lures. This is their football jig rod. This is the custom speed stick series, and just a 7-to-1 gear ratio. I'm sorry I'm having to do this hand cam thing, but I forgot my pole cam. If you're going through an area and you get a bite, especially this time of the year, winter, pre-spawn, stay in that area for a little bit longer. You know, this area I'm in right now, I've got 3 bites right here in this one little 20-yard stretch. 2 of them I hooked up with, 1 of them I did not. And I'm gonna continue going down this bank, see if I can get a bite. And I came in on this side over here, and I got 2 little bites all the way down this whole bank. And then I was coming across this cove and I made a cast. And that's when I caught one of those good ones. Wrong side of the cove. Good fish. Oh yeah. Good fish. Real good fish. Fish ate it. Come here, buddy. There we go. That's what we came for. Man, I wish I had my pole cam, because that's a fat fish. Fish down one side of the bank, nothing. And turned around and went to the other side of the bank. Look at that. That is a beautiful fish. Good fish. You know, that fish hit it on the fall. It was falling. That when I picked up the slack line, the fish was already there. So, get a bite in an area, you definitely want to slow down and pick it apart. There it is. Got off. This fish. They're shallow, man. They ate that jig right on that little bluff wall. Following the fish migration in the spring is really important. We've got main lake out here, and we've got a deep cut that's coming off of the main lake all the way in the back. It's shallow. got rock. This is a perfect area for these fish to spawn. So what I'm doing is I'm starting out at the mouth of this cut and I'm working my way back, following the deep water along the proper banks and running into fish. It seems like they've been all the way towards the back. But get in these areas, you know they're going to spawn back here. Find the areas where they spawn and then either start out and go in or start all the way in the back and work your way out and try to intercept those fish as they're moving back into these spawning areas. Definitely won that slow fall today, guys. Get him, Finn. There we go. That's a good chunky quality fish. Little baby jig. Broke off the Procaster and I had to go to the Bitsy. Same thing, 1/4 ounce speed crawl. Nice fish, man. Getting a little gut on them. That is fun. So you see what I caught them on? Caught that fish off. A little bluff kind of thing right here. And that fish was up in like a foot of water. It's a real stain. Well, we got about 1.5 foot visibility, but definitely keen on crawfish. For sure. One more thing I wanted to mention, and that's about color of bait, even in dirty water. This water's 1 foot to 1.5 foot of visibility, and typically something in June bug, black and blue, is the way to go, but that's not always the case. You know, when these crawdads start coming out, they're not black and blue. If a fish are really locked in on crawfish, you're better off to go to like a green pumpkin. I mean, I've caught fish in 6 inches of visibility, good fish, on a green pumpkin, you know, beaver or D-bomb or something. So just because the water's really stained and dirty, don't hesitate to put on that natural color, because that's what the crawfish are looking like. You know, tip the pinchers with some yellow and orange, just slow down, drag it around, and act like a crawfish. Dang, that was crazy. That was a crazy bite, guys. Popped that jig, hit the top of the water, and that fish rolled up on it. Basically a topwater bite. Wow. That. Boom. That was crazy, man. The fish just came up and rolled on it. Ate it like it was supposed to. Yes. Nice fish. That's gonna wrap it up, folks. Give me a thumbs up if you appreciate the content, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Also reminding you that we do a Monday night live stream on Monday nights at 7:30 p.m. If you're not getting bites on traditional size jigs, don't be afraid to downsize. Nice quality bass. Look where that jig is. It's a little 1/4 ounce jig, little speed crawl. It's fishing real slow, fishing really shallow. Most of these fish were in like 4 feet of water or less. So green pumpkin, stained water, it works. Light finesse jig. When the bite is tough is a way to go sometimes. Till next time.